intake process that will have to move forward, as it does in every single case. But I fully expect that this mother will be facing additional charges, more than what she's been booked with so far. She chose to insert herself into this case after a very clear, stern warning not to. I personally, again and again, warned the community, and I spoke directly to the family and friends of the perpetrator, not to ruin their life because someone else already made a decision to ruin theirs, not to ruin it by helping or assisting an individual that had wreaked havoc on our community. I don't think that was confusing. Anyone, I just want to articulate it again just so it's clear for future cases and current cases that we're investigating. Any person found to be aiding and abetting any person who has committed a crime, whether it be during and its aftermath or what have you, will be prosecuted. That includes giving them a ride, a place to lay their head, a place to hide, a bite to eat. You will be prosecuted for that support. In for a penny, in for a pound. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think that's confusing. I don't think there's anything for this community to be confused about. I think the big takeaway here is that the people of New Orleans did not stand for this. They stepped up, they provided information, were able to arrest the perpetrator and a person who played a very big role in this crime. While this arrest is a critical milestone, it is not the end. Once Mrs. Gray is extradited back into New Orleans, our internal screening process will move forward, and that's when you can expect to hear more about the other charges that she will face. We as a community must push back together against violence. And we are going after anyone involved, whether it is in furtherance of the crime itself, or its aftermath. My office is in lockstep with the NOPD and other law enforcement partners in this respect, and we will continue to bolster our capacity to identify, locate you, bring you to justice, and prosecute you if you support someone that has hurt anybody in this community. I want to say a special thank you on behalf of this entire community to Detective Fife. Detective James Fife, after he made the initial arrest, that work did not stop. After Friday, he continued to work and consult with the prosecutors in my office to keep pressing to hold anyone else that was in any way involved to account. With that, we'll take any on-topic questions.
Jason, could those additional charges involve her ownership of the gun that was allegedly used in the second-line shooting?
Ownership and how that gun came to be in the hands of her son. There's a lot of information about choices and decisions that were made before the second line even began. Before those second liners ever got dressed that morning, this mother made some decisions with regards to that firearm, and I believe there'll be charges stemming from that.
What message does this send to parents, families? I mean, we've seen a lot of juvenile crime lately, so what message does this send?
You know, my pastor, Fred Luter at Franklin Avenue, he gave a sermon once about how the current sort of terminology, but spare the rod, spoil the child. But if you read it in its original language, it was spare the rod, hate the child. It is insane that a mother would do anything to push her son or daughter any closer to criminal activity. It is even more insane that they would do anything after the fact to assist, aid, and abet. So the message to the community is, if you have a loved one that has broke the law and has hurt somebody, call the police, encourage them to turn themselves in, pray for them, and continue to be a model citizen so you can maybe help them get a lawyer. Yes, sir.
You called out Detective James Fife. We've done stories on him in the past. What makes him exceptional, and how critical is it to have detectives like Fife on it?
It makes all the difference. It's how we get the cases. When you look at our solve rate, It is growing because of the work, the meticulous work, the methodical work of using good old-fashioned police work and technology to hold folks accountable, and Fife, he gets that. The other thing I tell you is, a lot of people were looking at some of the great college games that I think were going on, and some professional football yesterday. Fife was working this case. They were working on getting this warrant cut over the weekend. It was cut on Sunday. She was arrested today. He's been relentless. Ann and her team have not slept. Lieutenant Andrew Waldron has been nonstop on this case and many other cases that aren't getting the attention. But that type of attention to detail and the marrying of technology to that good old-fashioned police work, it really presents cases to us that we can present to an Orleans Parish jury to get the verdicts we need to continue on our public safety gains.
Those types of solve rates we haven't seen in a long time. Is this something new to the force? Is this a new leaf, new dedication? Where are the results coming from?
I think Rahm Emanuel said, in every crisis there's opportunity, right? And being the murder capital of the world, and when Chief Woodfork was there and we were partnering, we were trying to figure out new strategies. We talked about the old-fashioned police work, writing good reports, getting good quality information, securing as much as you can, getting to witnesses sooner. We also talked about the importance of technology, getting into those phones, using open source intelligent data like this team works on. That's why Holly and Michelle are here, because we're living in a digital age, so we've got to prosecute and we've got to investigate in that digital age. Fife gets it. The police department, the DA's office has to constantly evolve because the criminal element is constantly evolving, and we need to stay in front of them.
I know you said the community did not stand for this. Do you know if there were any tips that led to her arrest, or any tips that came in that said she was actually helping him after the fact?
I won't say what the tips were. What I will tell you is that the tips and leads were abundant, and I thank this community for making it very clear that this is not our culture, right? And anybody who made the mistake of thinking that this was New Orleans' culture, they're gonna learn today. Missy.
Yes, so you had said that choices were made prior to the parade. Is there a possibility that you might upgrade from second-degree murder to first-degree murder? And you had also said that you had maybe interacted with this group of people and warned them not to do accessory-type things. What were those interactions like?
This, at press conferences. I gave a press conference after the second line shooting. We did a press conference after the French Quarter shooting. And I think we're actually talking about a recent victory over at Tulane and Broad, and there was an off-topic question about this as well. And I wanted to make it clear because the police department was doing everything they could to find the people that wreaked that havoc. And I wanted the people of New Orleans to understand they played a critical role in solving cases. They play a critical role in making this community safe. And I made it clear, I spoke directly to families at these microphones, directly to friends, and I said, buy the food, ride in the car, anything to assist, and you will be prosecuted. And today you're hearing that Detective Fife cut that warrant. We're anxiously awaiting Mrs. Gray's extradition from Jefferson Parish to Orleans Parish, where she will be prosecuted for multiple charges, I imagine.
But we don't know the nature of her assistance, Jason?
Well, she was booked with accessory after the fact. How that gun came into being in her son's possession, there are going to be charges that are going to flow from that as well. And we've looked at a number of other charges as well to make it really clear to the community that this is not the culture of New Orleans. And we have to all work together, law enforcement and community, to make sure that people understand that New Orleans is not going to stand for this.
Could more arrests be on the way, or is this the...
Look, we're only following the leads. We don't make this stuff up. We follow the evidence. If the evidence, whether it is something found online by Holly and Michelle's team that points to someone else being involved, they're going to be prosecuted. If there's more information about who witnessed some of this assistance happening and they didn't come forward, they could be prosecuted as well. So we're going to pull on every thread. It's clearly not enough to prosecute the person holding the gun if someone else assisted them in getting that gun when they were not supposed to be in possession of it. And if they did anything to lie to NOPD while they're investigating this crime, or gave them a place to hide out while we've been looking for them. All of that is prosecutable, and it's going to happen across the street. Thanks, everybody.